All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly fairy check-in. Last week I went live, and it actually went really left. I didn't like how I channeled the energy. I accepted energy that wasn't mine while I was doing a reading, and it really got me upset. And the reason why it got me upset is because when I channel energy or emotion, 4 on the clock, as I say this, I can get really caught up in that emotion itself, the vibration, the tone when you would speak, when you feel that emotion, the words that you use. Nice. Let's get a little nice cloud going. And then what happens is I can sometimes get caught up in that emotion, and it can distract me from what the reading is about. That reminded me of something else. The last time, or actually not last week, but the week before that, I did another reading. The one that was like an hour or something, where, let's just read the title because I can't pull it in my mind. Yeah, 1 hour and 46 minutes. I love the way it feels to be a hater. It's about the haters. That reading, that time, sorry, it's gonna be a long intro. That reading, before I was able to film and record, I lost my password like twice or 3 times. And it locked me out of my phone, of course. So I had to wait the whole time. And just now I got the intuitive premonition, or like a moment, intuitive nudge that said they want you to forget the code so you don't have access to that, what's important to you, or that's something that you have access to is like a tool that you can use, just like a phone. So they don't want you to have a certain tool to reach your goals, right? So I'm really wondering what this week it's going to be like, what we're going to read in the energy, I mean. And I really want to get a straight read. I want to get a straight read, honestly, because I like clarity and truth, and I like concrete answers. If that's yeah, it's a lot of baggage. Somebody's spiritually weight. Somebody's carrying a lot of spiritual weight. I won't say weighed down. That's the thing. I always have that there are 2 ways that I can go. Actually 3, but there are always 2 ways. I always want to say things, or maybe this energy wants to say things, because of course Teiko resonates. But I usually have that. But it also always happens when I channel. So that's then definitely the energy. This is the energy then of somebody that, how do I say that? That wants to like say things at the same time, but in different words. Like different ways. They want to do things at the same time. 2 different things at the same time. And usually it doesn't work. Because it's really, because it's really difficult to have the exact outcome the way that you want. Since you're doing 2 different things, so results may vary. Okay, we're gonna look at this. This is somebody who feels spiritually weighed down, or like they're carrying a big load. It's also somebody who has a lot of wisdom or has experience in carrying this load. It can be a hermit. It reminds me of the hermit energy. Let's see, what was the energy of today, Monday, for those who are living in Northern Hemisphere. If you're living in Southern Hemisphere, yeah, it's like 10 p.m. or something. So today, temptation to follow a guide or a lead that's actually there to take advantage of you. This also is like, it reminds me of the energy, you know, like being tempted to sway with the energy. This is somebody who definitely wanted to misdirect you from your path. So you could feel very tempted today to fall back in old patterns or irony, to fall back in old patterns, or how do I say that? You might have felt a pull on the inside, different pulls, pulling you back to a place in your mind or in your heart where you felt a certain way that you could interpret as neutral with an undertone of helpless. Ooh, my sage started to go on again. Sometimes I have that it starts to burn again. That's interesting. So it's something that you seek clarification, or actually more purification for when you were in that period. So there was an energy trying to lure you back intuitively, or it was trying to pull at your intuition. They definitely use your emotions for it with the body of water, and they used the trees. So this could have been that they used it through spiritual ties like your ancestors or general wisdom. Also elemental spirits and nature that's coming through. And the two fell on it. This again, the birds, they really remind me of ancestors. On the tree as well, in a nest. And then one little birdie fell out of its nest. It fell down on the ground. The man is standing on ground that is... what's the proper word for it? I think I can say shattering. It's like breaking. And he does look heavy, you know? I'm getting something. This is that person in the beginning, that hermit. And that hermit was carrying that weight for so long that he swallowed it and turned into this obsessive energy, dictator energy, somebody who is wearing a high hat, so he thinks of himself as somebody with a high function. He has a long feather, so that can represent the wisdom that we saw in there, that's connected symbolically to the hermit itself. And with the high hat, the top hat, it's an energy that has also different characters. I feel like I want to say different talents. They are well dressed and groomed, so this is somebody who has the resources to do so, and they do get defensive if they need to with the sword. So after all that carrying of that baggage, that person integrated all that energy. So, and his solar plexus is very expanded, right? So this is somebody who can be very egocentrical, or egotistical actually. Egocentric and egotistical, my bad. This is also somebody who is, I feel like the word cruel is coming up, but more so somebody who's very greedy, gluttonous, but it was forced upon that person through the weight that they were carrying, right? And that was also maybe a period of, because that's what I'm getting, this could have also been a period of your life, a period in time of your life, a period of time in your life where you integrated people's spiritual trash, kind of, actually like psychic debris, people rubbing their energy off on you, and you've been carrying it for years. You became very wise and you still kept going, but eventually, pardon me, it integrated, and it kind of made you believe that harmony and balance are only made or created when you have power, because I'm searching for the proper word actually. Sometimes I feel like there are not enough words in the world, but it's like you might have believed that if you have the certain power or the social networks or something, looks or a certain type of energy or essence that you have access to harmony in your life, justice. But it fell on the temptation, so you were probably tempted to do something again to make you feel powerful, or it was a test to see if you would fall back in old patterns. If you experience this, and if you are not somebody who's been through this, you could have been in a position where you had no boundaries. You could be a people pleaser, and people like this would have had effect and control over you, and you would accept that spiritual weight that they carry based off of those projections, that you carried that weight on your shoulders until it integrated you and you became a part of it, you know. So that's what happened on Monday. Something tried to manifest this energy back into your day-to-day life, and we've been seeing this combination of cards coming out constantly. So this energy is still trying to get you back in that space, place, or time. And we're going to figure out later with tarot who or what it actually is. Because I am bothered by the fact that this energy or person doesn't know how to stop. Even if it's ourselves collective, there is a really big problem if you don't know how to have discipline or don't know how to say no. And then you have to really seek a different kind of help. So there are serious matters that are affecting your soul through the physical world. And that's through whatever this was. And it's for everybody different. So it can also be a bad habit or a bad friendship. You know, somebody trying to control you or manipulate your emotions while they're actually very unstable, or somebody who's a bad example, you know? Energies like that try to control and dominate your life or you. Yeah, and you said goodbye, so you eventually left the forest. This is 9 as well. So you eventually left the forest. You never accepted this energy back into your life. So you, even when you were tempted, you didn't do it. So that's really good. Yeah, and then 8. 9, 8, 7. Nice. And then 9 again. 9, 8, 7. So you actually slowly followed your own intuition and let the universe handle with this energy. And they definitely got karma for it. That's also what they struggle with. Every time you follow your gut and say no to this, set up that boundary or reject whoever or whatever this is for you, because you know it's bad for you and you need to seek purification for yourself after. That's when these people feel very bad. Oh, I'm feeling a sense of sick to my stomach, because that's when these people feel very bad, because it's kind of like returning back to sender. It's like they're getting punished if it's not working out or something. Nice. It can also then be a very occultic reading if it's going to be an entity or a demon, you know? That's always interesting. Clarified Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Oh, sorry. I forget Jupiter. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so on Thursday, you're gonna definitely feel balanced regardless of everything what's gonna happen or what has happened. So that's the day after the new year, or it is the new year actually. That's interesting. And that's 8 again. Thank you. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. gonna do that, Aries. Oh yeah. All right, this is gonna be an interesting week, everyone. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a little bit heavy. Unfortunately, actually, I'm gonna say. Let's start with the beginning of the week until we hit the weekend. Yeah, it doesn't feel right that it's reversed, so we'll figure that out. 8 on the bottom with the baby, struggling with protection. So there is advice that you need to upkeep your spiritual protection this week, extremely actually. And the reason why is because it's shielding you from attacks and energies trying to enter your space, your aura, your energy field. These entities could carry energy that's lowering your vibration by rubbing off emotions like hatred, bitterness, judgment, envy, I'm hearing, gluttony, pride. And the moment it hits your energy field, because you're an empath, you subconsciously soak in it. And if you do spiritual protection and hygienic work through prayer, meditation, you slowly build, or cleansing, you slowly build like a barrier around you, around your aura, and it protects you from these energies rubbing off on you. Because if they rub off on you, it will just kind of glide over your aura. Like it's just, the energy is like gonna bump against it, it's gonna like let go. Like it won't stick, kind of. And when you don't do all that stuff, it doesn't create any protective shield. Like you are protected, yes, but then you'll still be more eager to experience the emotion, the attack, the interaction. Even it's also like, it also happens with positive energies, yes. But I try to tell people what to do to keep the negative energies away. Because positive energy is fine. Sometimes positive energy can also be a little bit bad, like toxic positivity. And then it's also difficult to remove. But for example, it's less hard than when you have something like a nasty spirit, you know, or a certain type of bitterness that it's difficult to release, to let go of. Yeah. So on Tuesday, yeah, because it doesn't feel right. The cards don't feel right for my intuition. I don't know why. No, it would feel different if it was my ego telling me I don't like what cards we have. No, that's not it either. Yeah, exactly. Friday, Saturday, Sunday then, please. Oh. It's so weird. Somebody really wants you to have like a bad week. 36, that's 9 again on the 1. So Friday is gonna be a good day, you would tell. It's like the energy isn't shifting around you more. But it feels like you're gonna be more in emotional space on Friday. It's like you're under the water and it fell on Monday. So you're definitely gonna be in your emotions. 36 just fell on top, but you're gonna eventually cross that body of water. So you're gonna Go over it. And either it's 9, so plus 1 is 10. You're closing out a cycle this week. Is that why this is so is this looking so ugly? Because that's bad. Why 6? Okay, a Saturn, and then here this is the 25 on the bottom. Being stuck. Oh, okay. Okay, you're gonna get over it. You will release yourself from something again. Clarify Saturday and Sunday, please. Thank you, Saturday. They're gonna try again. What? This is so interesting. What is this? It's like people watching you or something. Like people trying to, like, and on Sunday you won't be attacked. Everything will be lifted. Something will be lifted off of you. What the fuck? I'm sorry, but this is really weird energy. It's 8. It's something that always comes back. I don't want that. We need to stop the always. So we're gonna figure out what the always coming back is, to find a pattern and to kill it. I don't fuck with this shit, man. Oh, okay. So this is especially, yeah. Okay. And they said look at this because my fingers are open, like my fingers are in between the deck. Okay, so it's gonna be shitty. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Okay, it took me a little. Wow, it took me a little while. Okay, so. Okay, this is not gonna be permanent. This is actually the energy because it's like New Year's and New Year's Eve, etc. So then you're gonna be tempted to fall back in just old and bad patterns, and eventually it will make your immune system or your aura a little bit more weakened and prone to negative energies like annoyance. But that's because of course, chemical differences in your brain. Because when you go back to old patterns or do things that are unhealthy for you, the rewiring or the wiring in your brain itself. Oh my god, I was tripping. What the fuck was that light? the rewiring of that brain itself is destructive. So it's like bad for your brain. It brings out a disruption in your hormonal balance, you know, like dopamine changes or different kind of addictions. And because it's New Year's Eve, you're gonna just fall back into some old patterns that are gonna be a reminder as to why you quit, okay? And then of course you will have to prepare yourself, give yourself more love on Thursday. But we just saw, what was that Thursday card again? The balance. You will overall feel balanced, but you will feel like a little bit annoyed, or like you might feel a certain type of like tension, or like there's just an aggravation a little bit, and it doesn't disturb your day at all, but it's just like this, like a gnat. You know, a gnat, it's like it's there. It's not bad per se that it's there because it's staying away from me, but when it's coming around me, it's like annoying. Like, for what are you here? Like, and because it's like a New Year's Eve, and that's what I also meant with number 8, because number 8 is it's like a continuous cycle, of course. It's infinity, so it's like a celebration that's like constant, but it's also every time on a national holiday you fall for the same temptation, right? So it's like also old patterns, old habits, like ending up with the wrong crowd, doing something with like drinking too much maybe, or getting a little bit too funky or crazy. And you might honestly, like, you might get like you might end up a little bit too far deep, but it's not like you can't get out of it, because of course, like, you're divine, you never do these things anymore. That's why it's a temptation, okay? That's very important to remember. Like, you're being tempted to it because you cut it off, and that's why it wants to come back, because actually whatever it was feeding off of you as well, because it's transactional, right? So the bad energies connected to those bad habits, they were also growing based off of how much energy you were giving it, investing into it. Money, time, resources, thoughts, feelings. And you might be tempted again to fall back in those patterns. Ooh, I'm getting so much things. For example, lurking at an old at an old ex's Instagram account, or asking questions about them in a tarot reading, or pardon me, thinking about scenarios of the past when you're drunk, or doing some kind of drugs that you actually stop or quit it with, or for example going back to smoking because you're at a party, you know, like even those little things, like eating very bad while you're going out because you want to hurry up to get to the party on time instead of just having a proper meal. All those things, because I'm getting so much examples that sometimes I find it very difficult to name a list of 20 things that I'm hearing. This can also be taking the other bus line because you like to ride with a person that's not really your friend anymore, but you see them at the party and you're kind of hyped, but you know that that bus line has you walking back 20 minutes to home, you know, instead of the other that's like 5 minutes around your house. So it's like those bad habits. It's very small and detail oriented. But those details, like the devil is in the details. Those details, that's why it's very important. 7 sins, devil, temptation. But the details are like the building blocks for your foundation. That's why when you F this up, or when you fall back in that bad habit or that bad pattern, it will affect you in its entirety, like in your entirety, in its whole, like who you are in your day-to-day life and everything. But because it's like a New Year's party, resolution, whatever, you can have that with every party. You see, like that's the whole infinity thing. You can have that every time you see that person, or you can have that every time when you're drunk, that you do those things. And those are the bad habits that you need to cut loose. Wow. I forgot how, yeah, honestly, it is difficult to channel, how it's difficult to use and find the proper words to express something spiritual that you're picking up with through sensations, because you don't have the proper vocabulary to describe a sensation. Like, I think that's it. So it's difficult to, yeah, to channel. Ooh, I'm getting, how do you say that? Kippenvel. It's like, spiritually, I heard a spirit say, because sometimes I also have company of weird spirits that I don't know, but they just like to hang out here because I accept everyone. And they were like chicken studs. Maar no, it's like what the F? What's the word again? Now I forgot it again. Chicken skin? No. That's so bad, I just forgot it again. I'm gonna search it up now. I want the word. Yeah, but this is about goosebumps. Thank you. Goosebumps. Chicken studs. That was so weird. Like sometimes, yeah, that's why sometimes I can also be very distracted in a reading, because it's like I'm in a classroom and the children are trying to finish the story before I could even read the story from the book that I'm reading. And the reading is like the cards. And then the spirits are like the children, and they're in class and they're like, oh, then that's gonna happen. No, and then that's gonna... And I'm like, no, wait, stop. You're distracting me. Now I can't focus. Anyway, yeah, that was really funny to me, that analogy. So it's something that always tries to creep up on you before or while you're sleeping as well. I'm gonna get a tarot card on this. It's like a bad habit that people also talk about, or like little spirits or energies, the fairies, the good folk, elemental spirits, they talk about, they notice it. They know that you worked really hard against it to get on a better path and to kind of unlearn those habits and those parts about yourselves and those bad things. Can you clarify 17 here? Oh, that you don't see it. 4 of Cups. Oh, that was actually a very quick clarification. Do I need more? No. Well, yeah, like that you always think that it's done, that it's over, but again, 8. Okay, that's very nice, actually. Yeah, but that's 13, I know, but... Because 8 is the card of Scorpio. Wow, 8 is the card of Scorpio. 8 is the number of Scorpio, and death is the card for Scorpio. It's like Scorpio is the 8th house. So it's like, it's energy that will always come back to see if you really evolved and transmuted it or transformed beyond it. And it's actually kind of like a test, but it's also something to see if you understand, because you see that this red ribbon, it's like the ribbon of faith. Like, do you understand your faith, your destiny, or not? So it's like a little test, of course. 2 heads. Heads will roll Project X. Ace of Cups on the bottom. So yeah, it's also, do you understand your worth or not? Are you going to give in to that bad habit, or are you going to go beyond? Okay, and then what else did we see? So yeah, you're going to be a little bit agitated on Thursday, and that's why we forgot about Thursday. Because it's not really, like, you're going to forget about it on Thursday as well. Like, that it happened, or that you just did something funky again, or crazy. And then on Friday, you're going to feel better again and just in your own flow. You're going to feel in tune again with your intuition, and you are going to learn or you're going to experience something on Saturday, get a piece of wisdom, a download, an epiphany through a conversation with a person or a random stranger on the street. Or, it's actually funny that random and stranger are 2 complete different words, but I think like the definition is not that far from each other. Because a stranger is somebody that you don't even know, and random is also something that you don't even know at all. So I'm like saying the word double, but it can be whatever it is. You're gonna realize something, just like what I just now said as an example about the difference in words. You're gonna have an epiphany moment like that on Saturday. That's so fucking funny. You're gonna have an epiphany moment like that, and then you're gonna realize that maybe also it stems from your childhood, or it has stemmed from something that you picked up when you were a child, or when you were younger, that you've seen it someplace else, or in somebody else's life, or in an adult's life. And oh my god, I knew it. Whole time, oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys. The whole time I was thinking that the camera was in frame. And I was like, you see, I was like doubting my intuition. I was like, no, it's gonna be fine. It always stands like this, but it's not. I apologize. I apologize very much, because now it has been a half hour or something in. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna straighten it up right now. Right now. This reminds me, or I think it's Wednesday or it's Thursday, the 1st of January, a new season of Rick and Morty is coming out. For those who like to watch it. I love Rick and Morty, so yeah. Okay, so sidetracked. Something you're gonna realize on Saturday is gonna help you see where it originated from, this bad habit, and why it always keeps coming back. Like, why you're so tempted. Like, why would it even try to tempt you? Why does it think that there's still an opening? And then you're gonna realize, because there's a button still to push. So you're still affected by something, and that's gonna help you open up your eyes to the reason why it's still there. And then on Sunday, of course, because Sunday will elevate you, the sun is gonna purify you. It's gonna cleanse you. That's why the sun is really healthy for us. You're gonna lift up whatever this is spiritually again. This is 7, and we began with 7. The number 7. This is the challenge for this week, and let's search up the Hermit card, the number 7. So it forced you to be in masculine energy. It forced you to be, here, 7. With the weight, I'm hearing the weight on my shoulders, the weight of the world. With fairies and elves. And didn't we see that card about like gossiping? Like the fairies and the elves, they know. So it's like elemental spirits could also be, that's why I was a little bit occultic. Elemental spirits or like fairies. If you believe in like little goblins or like forest people, good folk. If you believe in like, how do you say that? No, like the things in dwarves, but like not the human dwarves, but like, that's a bad word actually, a dwarf. And that's also not what I mean. how does it, what's the word for that? Wait, let me think, guys. I'm so sorry. Just give me a second. No, that's a bad word. Forest people is not correct. Goblins, I think. Kabouters. Oh, gnomes. Gnomes, yeah. If you believe in like gnomes and like fairies and all those little mystical creatures who live in the forest, and like elves and all that other stuff. I mean entities, beings, and yeah, I found something interesting. Entities, beings that live in nature and that you feel like know that they exist because you sense something, but you've never seen it with your own eyes, like, or could have taped it, because some people, they do have stories about when they walk in the forest or they hike, and then they try to catch it on film, but they will never let you catch you on film because they would rather make you feel like you're crazy and laugh about it, because not all the spirit people in the forest are good. Just like not all spirits are good and all ghosts are good. A lot of these gnomes and fairies, they can be very cheeky and mischievous. That just like that they say that fairies steal jewelry, fairies steal shiny things and trinkets. And yeah, if you open up to that magic in your life, you know, like, yeah, what I want to say, believing that's possible, that exists, you're gonna open a portal to that world, and you're gonna give it kind of permission to enter yours. And whatever you accepted on your spiritual journey this far, it kind of made itself into your world. Wow, word. So spirits like facts. It kind of made its way into your world, and it's using your secrets from the past against you to see also if you're gonna fall back into that. And honestly, I'm kind of happy about that, because that explains so much. Because y'all little critters are shit ass annoying. And I like it though. I like it when it's a little bit annoying, because sometimes resistance is healthy, okay, guys? But because it helps you build stamina and it helps you stay sharp and on your toes and focused, you know? So that's also how you change your mindset from negative to positive. You change your perspective on it. You can see it in two different ways, right? Just like I was saying in the beginning, two different ways, like results may vary. So, okay, one way didn't work, now we're trying the other way. And you're gonna realize that you chose the right way again. Even though you might feel like, for an example, on on Tuesday, that you're not really ascending, or that there's not a lot changing in your life. Like, your day might feel very similar to Monday on Tuesday, and you might believe or think that it's, pardon me, it's because something is going down or there's something bad happening. But what the truth of the matter is that you're actually realizing that you're still falling, or kind of fell into the seductive trap of your temptation. And that can also, for an example, be not being disciplined enough, you know, not sticking to your routine or your schedule, not doing the necessary work that you have planned on your to-do list when you know you really should have done that. You know, similar things like that. And when you wake up Tuesday or you experience your day, you might feel like has not been a lot of change. But in actuality, you're gonna hit a little bit of a, how do I say that? Like a low, just to go twice as high. Because eventually you'll ascend and you're gonna lift something off of you. So you will pass whatever test this is. And it's a good test, honestly. So that's why you're gonna feel overall balanced. And on Thursday, you're gonna just be more relaxed. Because you already know. I feel like I want to say you already know that it's like over. I want to say that it's going to be like over, but something stopped or something is gone, you know, like that pull is gone. It was something toxic or something invasive. That's a good word. I like that word. So the challenge this week, yeah, is to give into, I feel like, the whispers of the past, I want to say. I think I'm going to title that reading this. But yeah, the whispers of the past. And letting those whispers of the past steal the winds of change. So steal your spotlight, your shine, your ability to grow and change and do it better. Because the moment you do that, you're gonna fall flat right on your ass and the fun is gonna be over. I feel like you are aware of it though. You're gonna be aware of it in a moment. And stay hydrated this week. Let me write that title down. 444 on the clock. So that means you're gonna get new ideas and plans. You need to write them down, okay? Please, okay? Whispers of the past trying to steal the winds of change. And this is also very orange, right? And the sacral chakra will be affected mostly this week. So you're gonna be really tempted to sway and give into certain emotions that actually brought you down to your knees, okay? In a bad way, not in a praying way, but in a, well, actually also in a praying way, because they brought you down to your knees in a way of asking for help and deliverance. Oh my god, that's really bad. Then I already know what's to come for me, the collective. So I don't know if you already know it for you. But if you have things planned and if you're on the same level of consciousness as I have been channeling and have been doing since the beginning that I ever started a channel, then you should definitely be on this kind of similar level where you understand that whatever you're foreseeing that your week is going to happen and bring you, you now can already decide. And of course, on top of that, that you can already now decide what's going to happen later. Also in the moment of later, so in the future, you will decide about your future. If you really use your gifts and your wisdom and knowledge to plan this week properly and to hold yourself accountable to certain rules that you have with yourself, then everything will be fine. But the moment you give in to things that you have regretted in the past, that's when it's going to be very difficult to release something or to get rid of something, a bad habit or a new way of, well, yeah, it's not a new way, it's actually an old way of thinking, but you're going to adapt past versions of yourself or a part of you that's completely not who you are. It's like a projection forced on you. Because with the hermit in the beginning, it's like a spiritual weight, people projecting and trying to direct and dominate your life, and you then slowly believing that they are right, and then slowly doing it the way that they're forcing you to live or to be or to say or to think or to feel or to cook or to eat or to dress or to shit, you know, or to eat, that I already said, to cook, to paint, to do your nails, to do your hair a certain way. No, you need to smile like this. No, you have to wear like that. No, you have to put this with that bag. No, you shouldn't do that. No, you shouldn't make that decision. No, you should... Like, what the fuck? Eventually, like, that energy is really, like intoxicating. Yes. Spirit is... What the fuck does this song? What's that song? You got me intoxicated. Oh, yeah, you got me intoxicated. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's such a bad song. Wow. Wow, this was my... When was this released? 10 years ago. Oh, I was... Oh, never mind. That's crazy. Their video clip is very interesting, actually. What the freak? Look, this woman as well. She has eyes in her ears, but her own eyes are closed off with shades. So it's like you're only focusing on the truth of what you're hearing, of what's being said to you, but not what you're actually seeing because you closed off what you were seeing yourself. So blindly following and listening to whoever these people were, or this habit, or this intuition, or this thing that's telling in your gut that you are a certain way, or you need to be a certain way, or this is how you should do it. That's kind of intoxicating to you. Let me see if I can find a drop. Oh yeah, this part. I'm gonna put the song in the bio. The video clip is very important. Yo, what the fuck? Look, these two guys, they're similar, but they're wearing a different color. Weren't we talking about two versions of yourself, but the results may vary? Look. Wow, this is actually a very good reading again. And the moment that you kind of give in to, I taste and smell somebody smoking tobacco while watching this. I can taste it on your lips, my boy. But this energy, if you give into those bad habits, you cannot really get rid of it. You're going to integrate it. So, and then you're going to become bitter and harsh. You're going to become like the person trying to dominate you. Oh my God. So it's going to be your big test. But we predicted that we're going to make it, okay? But the challenge is still going to give into it. Give into a different direction. So it's going to be very tempting. It's going to be very, very tempting. Whatever it is. So you have to manage what you're gonna go through this week, because that's the only thing that I can say it if you're not spiritually conscious, because spiritually conscious is kind of like being like micromanaging and analyzing on a higher level what the hidden meaning is behind something happening to you, a certain interaction or a conversation, analyzing the words that this person is using or the tone that they're using to tell you whatever they're saying, or the language, the body language, the micro expressions on their face when they talk to you. Analyzing it to such a point where your inner sensation, your inner voice is confirming through sensations the intention behind it, and you will feel or see or realize that it's actually negative, it's actually bad, it's destructive, and it's intoxicating to you. And when you realize that, you're gonna have to take distance. And I'm feeling strongly to cleanse. So this is gonna be confirming, for example, for me personally, yet again, probably at a party, I will stumble upon somebody that I don't really like, whose energy is very yucky and nasty, of which I eventually have to cleanse its energy off of me again. And then the lesson behind that would be not hanging out with those people or going to that certain spot where you know, because I would have already been there and experienced it. That's why I stopped going there, where I know that it's spiritually contagious. Yeah, let's get the angels out. I got it in my head. You've got me intoxicated. You've got me. Okay, angels, could you tell us what advice you have for this week? Nice. Azalia fell on my lap, on my sacral chakra. So your sacral chakra is protected this week, okay? So your emotions are protected. Metatron is protecting you through your intuition and helping you with how it will feel, but through sound and vibration. So certain vibrations, especially because Metatron is the archangel of time, especially when it comes to slowing down the time in those moments of time play or fastening time, that's when you're going to realize also or recognize these bad habits or people. So they're going to show up in those moments where you're going to be tested and tested through temptation to make you more aware of it being whatever is presented to you in that moment. I'm seeing a termite visually, not a real one, like visually in my spiritual eye, in my mind's eye, a termite, and I'm seeing a beetle and a termite. And now, who is going to be the winner? That's a hard one. Because a beetle might be stronger, but a termite is more, like, I want to say, has more agility. It's like more flexible. Because if a beetle falls on its back, it might take a little while to get up. Termite, not really. So you're going to really think about something that's going to be detrimental for your health. You're going to think about something that you have to really, I want to say philosophize about, but mostly reflect about it, like thoroughly. You're going to have to really think something through, like really, really, really think something through. Like, do you really want to go there? Do you really want that again? Do you really want to be there again? Do you really want that? Do you really want to wear that? Do you really want to be like that again? Like, really? Like, what are the pros and the cons? Who is actually going to be the winner? You know, what's going to be a better outcome? Wow, interesting. Actually, then I should also do like a check-in of after the week. Like, what's going to happen? Like, what happened, I mean. Angels, I'm sorry. Thank you. I didn't want that to come out, but okay. Because you slid out. Thank you, Jelalo. And Raphael on the bottom. Wow, yeah, that was a dream. You're gonna dream about something. That stuff about the beetle, you're gonna dream about your scenario or a situation. You're gonna dream about it. There's gonna be a very significant dream that's gonna happen this week. And it's going to kind of realign you, but it's also going to make you think. It's going to make you silent. The angels are saying for the day. It's gonna make you silent for a whole day, or like whatever a day might mean to you, because everybody has a different experience in time. Definition of time, even though it's linear. And it's undefined. But Asalia 30, Yabamia 11, Jalalel 21. Beautiful. And you see how they all look down? Very humbling. Very humbling. From a shield, so you're going to drop your shield. You're going to stop becoming defensive. You're going to stop the fighting, the battling. And you're going to spread awareness, love, and healing. So you're going to learn from this, and you're going to help people around you. You're going to, whatever you're going to choose, it's going to be good for the earth around you. Look how there's first nothing, and then there are flowers. Pardon me. And then, of course, out of the flowers turn humans. Add a little bit of heart, and it becomes the lovers with stars. So whatever you're going to choose, you're going to lose a little bit of energy, yes, but it's not going to be the end. But it's going, look how also this is so symbolic, guys. Wow, I've never looked at my cards this way. It's like you're gonna put your weapons down. You're gonna stop becoming defensive, yes. But you're also gonna learn how to give a little bit back and lose a little. And understand that even if you lost a little, it's fine because you have created something yet again. You know, you have established, for example, another boundary, or you might have lost or be tired and emptied out your cup, but you created two complete new things. Humans, a relationship, a project, an existence. You launched something. So there is something good growing out something bad or something mildly stressful for you or destructive. Yeah, man. Wow, and it is going to shock you a little bit. There's gonna, I think, what is this? That there's something going to happen that's going to be very like, like, oh my god, is this happening to me? Like, that's what it feels like. Yeah. You're gonna become aware of a connection, or you're gonna become aware of a higher level of loving yourself. And it's gonna become so freeing, and it's gonna help you rise in your Christ conscience, that vibration of I feel like I want to say radical love and forgiveness, but Christ consciousness is more so like a consciousness movement, where you vibrate at a certain level of consciousness, where your perspective over the world and the people around you is rooted in unconditional love. And you're going to experience this frequency more. Whatever you're going to do or whatever's going to happen. And you were first very wary of it. This can also be a love connection that you doubted. You opened up to something or somebody, or you're going to step into something that first was bad. And now it's good. That's for a very small number of people. I'm seeing the number. Oh, you hear my nose, my third eye. People don't want you to become aware of this. That's my third eye. Your sinuses is your third eye. So there, 0.2%. That's the number that spirit, the angels gave me. But it's also, that's crazy. You're gonna witness a relationship come to fruition because you did your part. Look how it poured water twice. The star and Yabamia. Let me read Yabamia's card. What song is that? Turn the radio up. I don't recognize it. It's old though. It's like a G-funk kind of song. Late 80s. No, that's something else. Nice try though. Interesting. Yeah, Bamia, activator of ambitions. The challenge is to focus, and the lesson is one step at a time in one direction will take you to your goal. Yeah, you're going to keep to yourself, and it's going to bring you to a higher frequency of self-love. Yeah, Bamia is associated with the first verse of the Bible, so carries the meaning of creation and rules over Prinseer, a demon who can travel to any place in an instant. In a reading, this presence of this angel shows that your potential, your ideas and ambitions can succeed if you concentrate on them and give them your full attention. You must co-create with the divine plan and not allow yourself to be distracted. Keep your eyes firmly on what is in front of you. So you will need to focus when you're being tempted. You might be tempted to kiss somebody or to step into a relationship with somebody, or when you're out or drunk to go home with somebody. No, collective, don't do that. Those are street shenanigans. We don't do that. No, we do not. Okay, like maybe sometimes kiss, yes, but that's on location, and we don't kiss and tell, but we don't go home with people. Not anymore. We outlearned that. That was from the past. You see what frequency we be going on? We can't be having it anymore, baby skins. That's why why is you all naked? Put your clothes back on, girl. Don't go out the house looking like that, girl. And even if you do, no, more so like however you dress, whatever it is, you will attract anything, of course. But the challenge or the point lays in with what you decide to go home, or what you decide to let come home with you. Like, no, nothing. Me and my outfit go home together, okay? So you also need to watch out if somebody has an eye on you and on New Year's, they want to become aware or tell you something. 4 stars and a heart. That can also be 5 stars. 5 of hearts. It's like an old relationship. 5 of cups is like grieving. And the stars could be connected to this 5 of swords. This could be connected to the reading I did earlier, this live. Oh no. No, we don't want that. But this also speaks mostly on in the moment when the angels are going to tell you what you're being tempted by. That's when you need to tell yourself, oh, wait a minute. This is what the angel was talking about. This is a temptation. This is the bad habit. And you have to choose better. So don't fall for the temptation. And you cannot go or get whatever you want in life or what you want to receive, for an example, this year or next week, whatever goal you want to reach. Like, oh, I want to do something tomorrow. I have to wake up at noon. You won't be able to do that if you're going to give into this bad habit. For example, like staying up late or eating very late at night, because then you have to stay awake longer to like empty your stomach, stuff like that. It's very detailed, very humane. Let me read Jelalel 21. 21. What's not plus 10? 21. Yes, vines. Challenge, learning that if we do not change, change will not come. Yeah, lesson in our own heart, we alone can change. In our own heart. So it's also realizing that you see hand on a heart again, opening her hands to hearts and stars. You're going to become aware of something, man. At the end of the week, that's that Sunday, you're going to be lifted off. You're going to realize that you can change, that something is possible. So this reading is also for people who are karmic or who have been karmic or are in a karmic loop that are getting into something divine. But it's also for diviners being tempted to go karmic again. We must learn to forgive or forget. It is particularly appropriate for relationship readings where sometimes it is better to simply move on from a situation rather than try and change it. Oh, wow. This angel promotes forgiveness and asks us to forget our regrets. We may learn from them, but tomorrow is another day. Y'all, I am too on point with my own readings. I write channeled messages on my community board, and they all have the same element as this reading. I do daily collective cards. They have the same element to this reading. I do a chakra weekly check-in card. They have the same element as in this reading. I am so in tune with the divine and this line of conscience that I don't even know anymore. But I do know that I ain't gonna stop. Yeah. Thank you, angels. I appreciate that you show up every day with full strength, might, and plight, with or without the Most High's ordained orders to help us in the world, even if helping is just being present because nobody's listening to you. I think we humans forget that angels are also being ignored, by people that don't believe in angels, so angels can't help you, or gods and goddesses that don't like to work with them, or whatever. I've had this was a reading in 2021, 22, 21. Now I'm pinpointing his energy. Oh, hell no. No, those were all fears. I'm now having a flashback that I went on. Yeah, exactly. I'm having a flashback. Oh shit. This could have been somebody in that you were in a romantic relationship with. Somebody who just implemented an unspoken dominance over you in and feeling entitled that what they said or told you is true about you is the actual truth of who you are. And you started to integrate that and believe it, and you started to recreate your whole system around it. And you gave up on yourself because of it, because you gave in to a person or a character that isn't you at all. And there is this sense of you now going to realize that you actually went the wrong path, down the wrong path for a long time. Because you started to become somebody that you're not. Because somebody else felt like what they said about you is true. That's their bad habit. That's how they feel in control. That's bad. Yeah, my ancestors saying that's why it's called a bad habit. I mean, duh. But like still, that's crazy. It's about the layers of understanding. You have to pass certain points of understanding in your own brain, in your own mind, to really understand the depth of it. The concern or the depth of the concern of it, you know? And when you realize you're actually baffled, it's like, what? That's crazy. Well, thank you for watching. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. No, thank you guys. And I hope you have a good week, of course. And book a reading with me through the link in my bio. You can email me for an email reading. We can talk about prices. You can WhatsApp message me or text me for services and questions of and about. Prices are on in between my shorts. I'm gonna try and post them again on my community board. Maybe I need to pin something or something. I don't know how to, but yeah. Thank you so much. I hope you have a very good Gregorian year. New Year and New Year's Eve. That's the Roman calendar. I don't follow the Roman calendar. My New Year is in April. But I'm definitely going to have some fun, party a little bit. I hope you guys will as well. And if not, don't worry, please, because it's just a normal Wednesday. Also for me. Honestly, I'm just going to... That's the magic behind it. Just take advantage of the party, of the environment, you know? Like, you can put your own magic in it. And not really doing magic, but like your magical twist. Just enjoy with what you have. You don't have to go all out if you don't feel like it. You don't have to go with the hype. You don't have to feel crazy. And it can also be that your new year might be on a different place. Everybody has a different definition of time, like I said, and of your own life. And you should, I feel like I want to say that you should be not only thankful or grateful, but you should just be inspired to understand that in this world, while you're alive, you as a human being, you can believe in whatever you want. Nobody's gonna stop you. Of course, if it goes against the law and you do things that might harm society or other people through violence or harassment, yes, it will. Then it's bad. But as long as you follow the law, you can believe in whatever you want. That's the whole beauty. And the law counts to everyone. Even if people don't get charged, they will in a different way. They will lose limbs. Spirit and Most High said that they will pay in a different way. Okay? Like if the cops ain't catch him, karma's gonna get him. Okay? And that goes to show for these people as well. These people who dominate or extort you or do whatever they want to control you and your life, the law, if the law doesn't get them, the spiritual law will. So you can believe in whatever you want. You can create your own truth. You can become who you feel like you want to become and enjoy it as well. Please enjoy the beauty of that freedom. It's a different kind of freedom if you let yourself think freely. And I think that's important. An important New Year's resolution. Think freely, okay? So bye guys.